Hello, this is Professor Chuck Conkle. Welcome to CIS102, Spring 2016 semester. This is Intro to Computer and Information Systems. This podcast this week is just to get started in the course, and there is a lot of little assignments that you've got to complete. And normally you're going to have 4 or 5 things each week. This week I think you have 9 or 10. And so a lot of it's, though, just getting your software installed, getting that set up. So do not be overwhelmed with the first week as far as assignments go. Fairly normal for a computer class like this. If this is your first time taking an online course, I will just encourage you to relax and enjoy it. Schedule at least 3 to 5 hours a week for the course, and just make sure if you have any issues to contact me sooner rather than later so I can help you out. So let's go ahead and get started. This course does meet online. It is an intro course, so there's no prior knowledge to anything whatsoever. And so my office, when I'm on campus, is WTC Building Room 262. There's my phone number here, email. We are going to be doing weekly Q&A sessions with Periscope. First one's going to be tomorrow night, Monday night, 6 to 6:15. We'll talk about that more in a second. This link gives some general course navigation helps that you can click on. Course success, I recommend clicking on that. Just give you some, again, just some tips over the years I've learned to help students. And then there is a live chat link here, and if I'm online available, I recommend clicking that. Now, as far as what I recommend as far as communication, email through Eagle first. If it's a non-emergency type of case, which normally is going to be. What I mean by non-emergency is if it's 11:59 on a minute before something's due, I would say email me. If it's something that's fairly urgent, and I'll let you determine that. Say you have something that happens in the family, a family emergency, and you're going to be out of class for a couple weeks. I would call and leave a message. And then everything else, it's non-emergency type of communication. Do the RBC Eagle email, and it'll come right to me. So when you enter into the course on Eagle, one of the things that's going to be on the front page each week is links to items of importance that I just gave you. And I'm in student view here, so I'm going to see, you're seeing here what you normally would see. If I was loaded as an instructor, I'd see more items over here. But to save confusion, I'm in student view here. I will generally do a podcast like this on Sunday before the week starts. And the week would be Monday through Sunday. So week 1, Monday through Sunday coming up. And so I will generally try to do a podcast and send it out. Post it actually on this page here under the agenda for the week. So first thing under this is going to be notifications. Notifications are going to be generally fairly static on notifications. These are things that you just need to be aware of on a week-by-week basis. There's a link here to Jumpstart, which I recommend reading. This is going to help you in 102 if you have issues or you're fairly new to computers or fairly new to RBC Eagle. Otherwise, you might not benefit from a CIS102 Jumpstart. And I'll just go ahead and click on that, and we'll talk about that for just a second. So basically, if you need assistance in 102, it's provided for you in what's called a CIS102 Jumpstart. One or more of 102 professors will be available to answer any questions. Since we all teach the same content, you can get help from the RBC Tutoring Center. The sessions are from 11 to 1 the first 4 Fridays of the semester. Jumpstart sessions will be held in 151 And the Jumpstart sessions are the ones from 11 to 1, starting January 15th, January 22nd, 29th, and then February 5th. If you're a current enrolled student of 102, you can attend it, arrive and leave as you wish. So you can come in and get whatever assistance you might need, and then you can leave. Welcome to bring your laptop. If you want to review some resources provided before coming to the session, that's at the bottom of the home page. I recommend doing that. If you have major problems about your laptop or desktop with the MyIT setup, which we'll talk about in a second, Pearson, which is a company that created MyIT, has a 24-hour support line you can click on for students. And Jumpstart, after you've concluded, you can still come back in 151 and WTC building on Fridays from 11 to 1 if you need help on any type of CIS102 homework the remainder of the semester. So again, these are just options for you. You're not required to attend a Jumpstart. It's just there to assist students. So I've talked about Jumpstart. Now let's talk about the left side of the screen here, one by one. The way I've designed the courses, modules on the left side is where you'll see assignments grouped in weekly modules. And we'll look at that in just a moment. Assignments, you'll see all the assignments in groups. Syllabus, you'll see on the left the course syllabi when you click on syllabus, and all assignments sorted by date. That's probably going to be the one, if you want to look at dates of due dates, I recommend the syllabus view. And then announcements are on the left side where I've got 3 or 4 in there already. And then I also recommend daily checking your RVC Eagle at least once a day. So let's go over these one by one. We'll start with announcements and work our way down. So in announcements, it is what it describes it being as a title, just announcements. I recommend checking announcements on Sunday, Monday of that current week. That's when I'll generally post announcements. After I do post an announcement, I will email everyone that an announcement has been posted and to please check your Eagle page for announcements. So you have a number in here that you'll see that you need to read. I recommend reading to see what's going on. Specifically, week 1 is all introduction stuff, so I've got a number of little mini announcements in here. Modules. In the module view, you're going to view a week-by-week view of assignments that are due. Most of the assignments in the module will be from the MyIT lab. You'll notice most of these assignments, specifically past week 1, do not have any grades except for maybe some 1 or 2 as an exception. And the reason for that is all of your grades, in fact your entire grade book, will be accessible on MyIT lab. Anything that's done in Eagle, I will transfer manually onto MyIT lab. And so if you do see point values here in Eagle, you can disregard anything on Eagle as it pertains to your grades. It'll all be on MyIT lab, which we'll look at in just a moment. So you'll notice each week modules are broken down. They've got content in the modules. I recommend starting at the very top item and working your way down to the bottom item. If you do try to attempt an item you've not completed one prior, I'll go ahead and do one here. You'll notice it's grayed out here on this Canvas orientation. And the reason for that is I've not yet completed this one here, which is the Canvas orientation part 1. So if you see items grayed out, that means you've not completed the one above the item that's grayed out, the topmost one. Week 2, you'll notice you can't even access anything in week 2 because you still have pending items in week 1. But I have put everything in here in the week modules pertaining to the course as far as assignments If there's any new items, which I'm not saying there won't be, I will email all of those changes. So new items or changes, will get notified through RVC Eagle of those changes. I try my best before week 1 starts to get all those changes made. So you might have been inundated with emails about changes or updates on the course module up to this point. Hopefully that will subside starting Monday. But again, if I do make changes, I will email all and let them know. Now, as far as the structure of the modules, as far as content, you'll notice there's quite a few items in Module 1, Week 1. Week 2, 3, and on has anywhere from 4 to 6 items that you need to complete, and those are assignments. Most of the assignments are going to be in the MyIT lab, which we'll talk about in just a moment. So in Week 1, there is a Periscope on Week 1, and let's go ahead and click on that, and we'll just talk about what Periscope is, and maybe some of you have used Periscope, maybe some of you haven't. It's going to be each Monday from 6 to 6:15. Periscope is an app created by Twitter to allow people to scope out video of anything. I'm going to be using it for Q&A. In order to comment in Periscope, you're allowed to comment with an iPhone or Droid app downloaded from the App Store, and just look for Periscope in the App Store. Once you've installed Periscope, you can sign in with your Twitter account. If you don't have a Twitter account, you can easily create one for free. And I have instructions on all of that, which I won't bore you by talking about Week 1 Periscope. But I'll talk in the homepage. There's a Q&A link which explains in detail, which I'll go over in just a second. Basically, Periscope Q&A is a place where you can ask any question about computers and technology. You can also ask questions about the course. I will pick a new topic each week to discuss, and students can make comments inside of Periscope. If you've never done it, it's a lot of fun. And tap on the screen to give hearts if you like something that we're talking about. Now, this will be weekly from 6 to 6:15 on Monday night. They are recorded, so if you miss one or can't attend one, I'll show you in a second where they'll be found. It's optional, but if you're available, don't have a class, you're not working, I do recommend hopping in just to participate, so I'll have some students in there to talk to. And so I'm going to go back to the home page and show you the link I have here for Periscope. So if I click on the Periscope Q&A sessions link, it's going to bring to this page here on how to set up Periscope and my Periscope channel. The same verbiage I just read is in the text here. And then down here, which there's no videos as yet, is where you'll find concluded Periscope videos from YouTube. And so when Week 1 gets posted here Monday night, you'll be able to click on this and see Week 1 on the list. So I'm going to click on this how to set up Periscope. A couple options. So to set up Periscope, you need either a smartphone or a tablet, and there's a link here on how to do it. And this link brings to what's called Techscope Tuesday, which we do in the CIS division on Tuesdays from 3 to 3:45. But the steps of preparing for Periscope are on this PDF. First thing you need to do, prepare for Periscope, is register a Twitter account. Second is to go to my Twitter handle, Professor Geek, follow me. Third, download and install the Periscope app on your phone or tablet. And you can go to this link here to do that, periscope.tv. You'll sign into the Periscope app from your device, log in with your Twitter information, and then once you're into Periscope app, you'll follow me on the Periscope app by basically going to the right bottom side of Periscope, clicking on this icon here. Secondly, searching for Professor Geek. And then thirdly, tapping follow once you found me. And that's going to make you signed in and ready and prepared for Periscope. So at 6 p.m. on Monday, if you've done this prior to Monday night, this coming Monday night at 6 p.m., you'll get prompted within your phone that a Periscope session is beginning with me to remind you. Okay, so that's how to set up a Periscope app for if you don't have Periscope already on your device. If you don't have a smartphone, you can just view the Periscope here, or if you have Twitter, there'll be a link that'll be sent out on Twitter, when everybody will have Twitter, that you can click on when the session goes live. You can click on the link in Twitter and just watch it. You won't be able to comment, but you can watch. All right? So that's what Periscope is. And if you've never done it, it is it's very informative, but it's also using technology, which is part of what this course is teaching. A lot of businesses are using Periscope. Sports teams are using Periscope. Colleges are using Periscope to do college tours and such. The fashion industry is using it. So a lot of industries using Periscope for a lot of different reasons and purposes. So it's free to use, fun, so I recommend it. So going back to the modules, in week 1, you've got Periscope Q&A. You have the CIS102 FAQs, which I recommend going over, which talks about my IT lab and how to register for that, if you've not already. About me is just that. It's going to tell a little bit about yourself. Course orientation for Canvas, RBC Eagle. There's 3 parts. Really simple, just 5 points a piece for those. Shouldn't take any time to complete. Then you've got a couple orientation quizzes. These are not, they're only worth 5 points, and you get 5 points just for attempting to take it. The orientation quiz is going over these 3 items here. The pre-test for 102 is just for me to know kind of what everybody already knows about computers before we start the course. And so if you don't know something, just choose the best answer when you take the pre-test and quiz. I do recommend Chrome web browser, which we'll go over more in a second, but Chrome is what I recommend as far as your web browser, and a good internet connection. And for assessments and quizzes, I do recommend a good Wi-Fi connection or hardwired connection in your home. Lastly, in week 1, you'll do the My IT setup, My IT lab setup, and when you click on this link, it'll bring you to a form to fill out, which looks like this, or just instructional. On this form, it says, hey, you can get started with Pearson's My IT lab in 3 easy steps. First, you got to have an email. It says you get some important emails from your instructor at this address. The email I recommend is your, it does not require, by the way, your student email. You can use non-student email. So if you have a Gmail account, you can use that. And really for this course, just to make sure you get all your emails from Pearson. There is times throughout the semester that maybe my RVC Eagle is down. So I would recommend, if you have an off-campus email, to use that. So if you have a Gmail account, use that. If you don't have a free Gmail account, you can go to gmail.com and get one within a few minutes. So number 1, email, you got to have that. And again, use off-campus email like Gmail would be awesome. Course ID. On our course homepage, there is a course ID, which I'll go to right now to show you what it looks like. Let's go back to the course home. So if I scroll down to the week 1 agenda, the course ID is right here, College 53527. So 1 is email, course ID, just gave you that. Access code or credit card. If you bought your book bundle at the bookstore, it has an access code in that. If you bought it online through Amazon, your book, it's not going to be, the paper wrapping is going to be off of, or plastic wrap. It will not have an access code, so you'll need to either, you'll need to buy that using your credit card on the My IT Lab site. You can also use PayPal. Here's what the screen looks like, by the way, when you get to that place. So I set up a mock student account here with my Gmail. And notice I get to this screen after I've put in my college ID or course ID, the college 53527. It brings me to this page, and I can plug in my access code for my bundled book at RVC Eagle Bookstore. Or if you didn't do that and you got your book on Amazon, or one of your friends or family gave you the book they used in prior semester, then you can use a credit card or PayPal to pay for it. The one that we'll be using is going to be the bundle up here at the top, Skills for Success Series, IE, and the e-text. All right. If you don't have the funds right now to do it, there is a temporary access code for 14 days. 14 days. Now, if I go back to the week 1 agenda and go back to the flyer here. So this walks you through on the flyer. When you go to the website, myitlab.com, you'll click register under the register. You're going to click on student button. Then you're going to click OK to register now. And the little RVC comment here is your access code again is your textbook bundle purchased from the bookstore. The textbook is a custom bind consisting mainly of introduction edition. It also includes the appendices and Office 2013 and Windows 7, and if you have Windows 10, it works with that as well. All right. And here's a page that looks like on my IT lab. You would go to under Register Now Student. Once you do that and register with the off-campus email, if I click on this, it'll take me to the page where you're going to register. Click this OK, register now. And on this page was where I enter in the course ID. And I'll go back and show you what that looks like. So since I've already created an account here, I sign in. But if you've not yet had an account, I would again click Create, use your off-campus email. You'll notice on the right side of the screen it shows the course here, CIS102 IO30 Conkle, Spring 2016. And then it brings you to this page once you sign in successfully, and you can enter in your access code if you bought the book bundle. You can use your credit card, and again, you're going to be doing the MyIT for the top version. And you can use either credit card or PayPal. And let me make sure here on that one here. In this example here, I'm showing how I'm using a temporary access, which I have 14 days in the student account before I have to pay. But this is what the page looks like. And then I can click on go to my course. And then once you do that, you'll see on the left side over here the name of the course and Conkle 2006, Spring 2016. And if you do the temporary access until you have the money to pay for it, you have until 14 days. Go ahead and click on the name here with your mouse. And this you just have to do once. This will pop up. Once this pops up, I would recommend clicking this Don't Show Again, which is just a informational screen. Then click Close. I recommend going through the welcoming message for MyIT Lab. Talks about what MyIT Lab does, as e-text, simulated learning, resource folders like PowerPoints, videos. You can check your understanding through quizzes, concept reviews. Also, as immediate grading of your items. Most items have 3 attempts to allow you to get done. To do and complete buttons under assignment tabs to keep on track, and a grade book. And again, for this course, this is what we're using for your grade book, is my T-Lab. All communication, though, will be done through Eagle, as always. Check Eagle, like I recommended earlier, on a daily basis, your announcements and email and such. Other comments here, all home systems require additional steps before you can use my T-Lab. You'll see the Getting Started menu on the left in just a second to do that. For those who come on campus and you want to work on it on campus, WTC 145, 151, and G11 are the only available computers that have my T-Lab set up. Your grade book is maintained here in my T-Lab. I've already mentioned that. Major tests and online discussions, therefore, though, are located on Eagle. So we'll click on the Getting Started. In the Getting Started, it goes over additional comments. So even though you've registered for the My IT 2013, you still need to set up your home computer for My IT Lab 2013. Since I recommend Chrome, on this first step talks about if you do Firefox, you have to go through a few other steps for Firefox, but we're going to be using Chrome. And Chrome has less issues than Firefox does, so I recommend that. So you don't need to go on the My IT recommended settings for Firefox. If you ever do see a prompt that blocks a pop-up, we need to let those pop-ups through in My IT Lab. Notifications. If there's any notifications, they'll show up here. Notifications would be such as gradebook notifications. You're late on something as far as a grade goes. Any comments that I might have. Instructor communication goes over. Please use Eagle right here at the top to communicate. So all communication go through Eagle. Then let's get an assignment calendar. Assignment calendar takes a little bit to load. Once it loads up here, you'll notice some icons here on the left on your calendar. What those mean is there's items in there that are due, that icon. If it's past due, you'll see a little red clock, submitted, an arrow, completed, check mark, note, looks like that, and start date items. So if I click on, for instance, the Friday information, I believe I have up through the 3rd week in class completed. As far as I usually try to work 2 to 3 weeks ahead on the assignment calendar of My IT Lab. Have them there for you to view anyway. So you'll notice some Friday items. All Friday items, by the way, will always be extra credit for you. And extra credit just means that it's not required. They're extra credit items. And I'll have them do 11:59 p.m., 1 minute prior to midnight on each Friday. The first one is on soundbite questions, ask before you buy. And if I click on this, it'll notice I got a pop-up blocker here. I'll click on my pop-up blocker message. I want to make sure and always allow pop-ups from this website. I click done. I can click it again. Now it's loading. I can click on that link. It'll take me to
our soundbite on questions to ask before you buy a computer.
A little tutorial, which I won't go all the way over.
There are certainly many things to consider.
Okay, so I'm going to exit out of that. And I'm going to go ahead and refresh this page here, just to show you here what, if anything's changed as far as that extra credit item that I clicked on. So notice the check mark here says completed. Alright. And so these extra credit items are located. Now there's a little drop down area here. If there is anything available, I'll say get information. If there's anything informational available, it'll say here what that information is. This just gives information as the title is all it's going to give on this one. So I'm going to go to when all grades are due that are non-extra credit, for the most part, are going to be a Sunday. And so I'm going to click on the 17th, which is the first due date of week 1 in CIS102. And you'll notice up here, it says here, Chapter 1 project is CIS102 Canvas, orientation, parts 1 through 3, found on Canvas. If I go back to Canvas and go into the modules, here is the orientation they're talking about. Those have to be completed. And I'll go back here. And so I'm going to go ahead and click on this title. It says here to go to CIS102, complete the orientation, consists of several parts. After the due date, I will record the total graded in the My IT grade book. So Monday morning, I will update your grade book in My IT lab to show that you've completed it. Once I've put the grade in My IT lab that you've completed it, at that point you can view your grades on My IT lab. So I've showed you real quickly how to click on items in the calendar to see what's due, which can kind of take, some time to do that. So the easiest way to view when things are due, really, in my mind, besides calendar, is a to-do completed way to view things. So I'm going to click on this to-do, and this is going to be items that are left to complete. Assignments are left to complete. So you'll notice the view is quite a bit different, and we have two views. We can do a to-do, which I'm on now, or completed. Like on this one here on Soundbite, once you're finished with it, you then can come back and say, I'm done, and notice it goes away from the list of to-do. Same thing with Chapter 1 Eagle Orientation. When you're finished with that, say, I'm done. Then the next one will pop up that's in the list, which in this case in week 1 is a PowerPoint presentation for Chapter 1, on an audio PowerPoint presentation, a replay video on Chapter 1, video here, and video here. So a lot of PowerPoints and videos here. Some of these videos and PowerPoints, specifically videos, are not real long, but they're just informational. So once you're finished with these and going over them, you then just go in here and say that you are done with those items. Now, once you get done with those items, and that's important to do them, and not just say you're done with them, but you actually went through them, you'll notice here some checks here. These are going to be like assessments for what you just went over in the PowerPoints and videos. You have 3 attempts for this one, 3 attempts for this one, 3 attempts for this one. I'll go ahead and start the first one to show you what it looks like. And these are going to be something you have to make sure you have a good chunk of time to sit down and do it. Uninterrupted, good internet connection. It says this chapter assessment is similar but not identical to Check Your Understanding textbook. Use your reading of the Technology in Action chapter to assist you in answering the questions. If you want to refer to PowerPoints, they're found in the resource folder of your course materials, located in the course menu on the left. You have 3 attempts. The highest score will show up in your grade book. Once you begin the activity, you must complete it. So I'm going to click Start. And again, you go through the questions. So you're going through and answer the questions. I'm just going to randomly answer some of these here. And I am not reading these questions. I'm just going through these quickly to show you what it looks like when it's finally done. Did not answer all questions. Do you want to submit it? Yes, I'm going to go ahead and say I want to submit it like that. Now it goes through and it gives me the scores immediately of how I did. I can go through one by one. It'll tell me if it's correct or not. And I didn't do so hot on this, going through without reading them. But that just shows you that you can preview if you got something right or wrong. That one I didn't answer at all. Then I can return to the course. It'll refresh that page. And notice it says I did not pass. It was 0 out of 7. I need to pass with at least 70% on all of these. So I can try again. I've already used one attempt though, so maybe I should go back and look at course materials for that, which I could do that. Just click on course materials. Or the easiest way to do it, because you have to dig here and find it, would maybe be go to where you were, which was assignments, back to assignments, and to do, and then go over completed. Because we've already completed some reading. So instead of digging in the course materials like it says on the information before, I could just go back and watch these videos and PowerPoint presentations that maybe I didn't really pay attention to help me before I try to attempt to do it again. Once I've went over those, I can click to do again and go back and reattempt that assessment. All right. So those are all due on this coming Sunday, or a Sunday week from tonight, January 17th at 11:59. And so once you complete them all, they will be graded immediately and you'll get the grade of those assessments. Now let's go ahead and access, I'll go ahead and close out of this window and go back to the main menu. So I've went over welcome, getting started, notifications, instructor communication, assignment calendar. Now let's go over course materials, which is where you can access everything that's in my IT lab. Which, to save confusion, I would say don't go in this unless you just have some free time you want to go in and look around. More than likely, if you stay within the calendar I just showed you on the to do and completed, you're going to be fine. Because I try to put all the PowerPoints and reading in the to do area. That way, if you finish them, you can just go to the completed area to read them later. On grades. Once you click on grades, you need to go to custom view. The custom view is going to be customized just for this course. And notice here, it has in here a grade already for the study aids, 0 of 7. It'll just show me that, because I've not got any grade in there, it just says a 0 on that study aid. But it does show that I've got some activity here. Once the instructor were to grade my, put in there the Eagle training for orientation, that grade would also show up here in the learning activities grade here. All right. So that's how you're going to access grades, just through the custom view. Go back to the main menu. And student FAQ, just give some recommendations, tune-ups, things of that nature. If you use the most updated Chrome, you're fine. If you use a Mac, recommend Chrome on that as well. And my IT lab runs fine on a Mac as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the main menu. And what I recommend doing is when you go to your name over here and log out, sign out, I recommend bookmarking this page here, the sign-in page. The easiest way to do it in Chrome, which I'm in here, is click on this little star, and it says My Lab and Mastering Sign In. If you want to rename it to My IT Lab, that's fine, and then click Done. Then when you come back later in Chrome, you can go to Bookmarks and find that My IT Lab bookmark to log into, which will make things much simpler for you. Alright, so I went over that, went over My IT Lab, getting started. Now let's go back to the course module. So I've finished all of the course module for week 1. And then once you finish all of them, I've opened up, the way it's going to work is the following week on a Monday, that Monday of the following week, Monday morning at 9 a.m., all of that current week's modules will be open. So on the 18th, Monday the 18th, is when, January 18th at 9:05 is whenever week 2 module will open up. You will not be able to access anything prior to that, even if you complete all the content in week 1. All right? So that's the structure for the modules. Again, week 1 has a lot of stuff, but it's a lot of little stuff just to get you started, mainly getting My IT Lab installed and working, and browsing around there and looking at it, and finishing your first Chapter 1 lab in the My IT Lab. So you have week 1 Periscope all the way down to this My IT Lab, Chapter 1. You'll notice week 2, 3, so on and so forth, has quite a few less assigned items. So that's modules. Assignment view, let's look at that. Assignment view is going to give all of your assignments viewed in buckets of categories. And so, like I've got here, it just has them in a list, starting with the most recent due date, which is a Periscope one, which has no grade to it, just a reminder, all the way to the last one of the semester, which is due on May 1st. Okay. Discussions. Any course discussions that we have will always be on Eagle, and we might have a few more in the semester, but right now we just have the About Me for week 1, and then Canvas Orientation in week 1 that are open right now for discussion. Let's go to the syllabus. Syllabus is going to have my information here, office hours availability, where you can drop things up and pick things up if I have you pick things up as far as things I have assigned for you or something. A link here to the syllabus for the classes there. And I like this view because it gives a date of when things are due and the title along with it's easily clickable, and you click on it, it goes right to it. The other view is over here on the right. If you click on each one of these dates, like if I click on that date, it jumps right to it. And that's really nice to do that. So you'll notice week 1, Monday, is Periscope, 6 to 6:15. On Thursday is where I want you to have, by 11:59 that night, the My IT Lab setup completed. And if you click on that, which I'll do right now, it'll take me to the My IT Lab, which it says I can't get to. So I'm going to access, I'll get out of student view so we can see that. And you won't be able to get to it at home either because you've not completed some things first, but let's see what that looks like. So go back to syllabus. And let's click on the, there we go, My IT Lab setup. So register My IT Lab, kind of like we have already went over earlier. Tells you how to do that, walk through that. So everything I went through earlier on the screen, going through Eagle, and then going to My IT Lab, setting it up is what you've got to do. And again, there's no grade on this one. It just says that's what you have to get done on that date. I go back to my modules, which I've not clicked on some of these. I would have to complete Canvas orientation 1, 2, and 3 in order to access the My IT setup, because those are the 3 items required in Module 1 before you can go to anything else. So make sure you've completed that. So back to Syllabus. And so again, Thursday is the My IT Lab setup. Make sure that's done by Thursday. Friday's the extra credit, or I'm sorry, the Jumpstart for 102. I also have, and I'm not put in there yet, the extra credits will also be in here as well, which is on My IT Lab, which I went over earlier. That is not on the Eagle calendar, which I will put on there. Right now, I think Fridays I'll have the Jumpstart information, if I'm not mistaken. Sunday is going to be the first big list of items due, which is your About Me, the 3 Canvas orientation, easy tutorials there that you've got to go over. 102 orientation quiz, pre-test, these are all on Eagle. And then the last one is your My IT Lab, Chapter 1. And notice it says here, this assignment requires you to use My IT Lab and submit your work on My IT Lab. So read the assigned chapter information. It says here to read Chapter 1 of Technology in Action in your book, which is always also the first chapter in the Technology Skills for Success custom-bound book. The PowerPoint for this chapter is available on My IT Lab. I already showed you that earlier, how to get to that on Chapter 1. Then review the check your understanding activities on pages 11 through 23 on your book. You'll also complete the similar but identical check your understanding quiz that I showed you earlier. Log into the My IT Lab. Complete the Chapter 1 check for your understanding Part 1 and Chapter 2 check your understanding Part 2. For each one, you'll have 3 attempts to complete, and you can locate both of them on the calendar like I showed you earlier. You also have extra credit opportunity. You will need to first go through the soundbite entitled Question to Ask Before Buy, which I talked about. That's going to be on the Friday, each Friday, which is the first one coming up is this Friday. And so extra credit opportunities are there for you as well. And it says typically the extra credits on Friday, they're always going to be on Friday. And it says here that there are 9 extra credit quizzes, 1 for each chapter. Based on the points you earn divided by the points possible for all extra credit, you can earn up to an extra 1 percentage point. The extra credit will be added to your course grade percentage when I update your grade book at the end of the semester. So I do encourage extra credit, just so maybe you say you miss 1 or 2 on a quiz in My IT Lab. That's going to help a lot. All right. Let's go back to the home page and just wrap it up tonight with communication again. RBC Eagle first line of defense. And I do want to end on this course success one. Course success. The course success for the class, just make sure and check your RBC Eagle once a day. See if there's anything new about the course in there. Watch a podcast like you're watching here. I will put the podcast link on the home page. Complete each week's module in the order they're in the module. You should carve out about 3 to 5 hours a week to work on your assignments. If you get stuck, read the instructions first, take a short break, second, thirdly, start back again. Now ask me only for help if you've exhausted A, B, and C here on step 4. If you still need help, send me an email in Eagle with the attached file that you're needing help with, or just a note in the email of what it is you're needing help with. Type in the body of the email the issue you're having, and I will reply ASAP. So I hope we have a great semester. Look forward to a great semester, and it's a fun class, a lot of little technology things you're doing. I do recommend everyone, if you can, to join the Periscope Q&A Monday night from 6 to 6:15, and click on that Periscope Q&A to walk you through how to do it. All right? Well, let's have a great week and a great semester. Bye-bye.